Julian Assange. Let's hear it for Julian. He's here. There is only one decision.
Fight for just affairs on Sydney Town Hall stairs. Here to make a stand. We are all Assange. We dispute the lies. We are on the rise, making truth expand. We are all Assange. Here to save his life, here to end the strife. We distrust the plan. We are all Assange. He always speaks the truth, knowledge backed with proof. Facts are in demand. We are all Assange.
Free Julian Assange!
Free Assange!
Yeah, I would also
You know, how would you like it if you exposed government crimes as a civically responsible thing to do, as is would be exposing any bad crimes, and they came out and publicised all the way around the world in the media that you were a rapist. That they basically framed it. What a very nice little way for the government to behave, eh? The prosecutor for the American government, the barrister, Mr. Lewis, he said to Daniel Ellsberg, he said, so it's all the government's fault on the notion of Assange doing redactions of information released. And Daniel Ellsberg said, yes, it was. He said he tried very hard to redact everything. And he even got the State Department and the FBI and the CIA to help him redact things so no one would be exposed or harmed, and they refused. So they can hardly turn around now and accuse him, blame him for not redacting things. So he said it is their responsibility. Well, there's another very important revelation in the last few days. It's a very, very long interview on the internet with Edward Snowden. And he talks about the technology that's been used about the people and the malfeasance technology that's been used to basically spy on everybody. It's the most interesting interview and everybody should see it, but he basically said that all of these anti-terror laws, the Patriot Act, which is ludicrously named, it's about imprisoning patriots, which is all under the basis of catching terrorists and so on. So hasn't caught a single terrorist. They thought they had evidence that it had been used to catch one terrorist, but that was later disproved through the judicial process. So it seems that this whole thing is just a control freak thing to basically, so an elite can control everybody and control all the information and frighten everybody, silence dissent. It's really all about silencing dissent. And that's what they're doing with Assange. They're trying to frighten anybody from coming out and exposing their crimes in future. This is a very good point made by Snowden as well, is that basically with all these government crimes, they get away with it with total impunity. They don't get put in jail, and the politicians, he said, you know, it's not until there should be prosecutions against these people who have lied us into these terrible things that have killed people. They're culpable in murder. They're responsible for murder, but they haven't been prosecuted, and we don't have any public officials basically put in prison or prosecuted for their crimes. And there's got to be a transition whereby the public officials that are responsible for terrible crimes actually their prices exacted for their wrongful doings. I recommend anyone to keep an eye on Consortium News and Craig Murray. Russia Today's been very good as well, I think. The Western mainstream media is basically trying to hush the whole thing up, as far as I can see.
The politicians of the USA and its allies, including Britain, Sweden, Ecuador and Australia, are the subject and perpetrators of these war crimes. They are charging him with espionage in an attempt to silence dissent by all journalists who wish to reveal this sort of corruption. Because that's what this is really all about. It's about silencing all journalists, not just Julian. They wish to silence all journalists.
It's affixed to me, and nobody's going to charge me for having it on my umbrella.
Maybe you'll learn something.
Looks quite good. It's almost as if it was made for the umbrella.
Yes, you should support Julian Assange.
But I think it's very easy for us to say what's been happening is wrong.
Can you go that much with them, Steve? To Julian Assange, it's just the right length of
I don't
time.
agree with that, but it's very clear to me.
Ideally, railway stations where there's heavy foot traffic, put on those poles.
How are you going? You having fun?
Ah, it's great. I like it here. I like being here on Fridays.
Yes.
It's
Can I give you that?
people are very friendly. They have very clearly in their minds why we come to town hall. You know, it's very symbolic for Sydney. But in addition, we are citizens of Australia, and we are working here to raise awareness about another citizen of Australia, probably the best known Australian anywhere and throughout Australia's history, Julian Assange, and who is imprisoned in Belmarsh. So we come here every Friday. Now that the trial is on, we're coming every day. In fact, a few of us come here every day. We've had some difficulties. Police haven't behaved very nicely towards us. Tony has been charged simply for having a banner up on the side here of the town hall, and that was actually permitted. We were told that we could do it, and he did exactly what he was told. He was just resting a banner there, his own banner, which he loves dearly, and he was going to take it home. He wasn't posting anything, he wasn't affixing anything to the town hall, but nonetheless he was charged. So we've got one of ours facing a criminal offence in the next few weeks, simply for raising awareness about Julian Assange and his plight. And can I tell you that many reputable journalists, historians, scholars at the moment are doing exactly the same during Assange's hearing. And the US hasn't had a very easy time because these witnesses for Julian's defense have been wonderful. They have been fantastic. They've used facts, they've used history, they've used data to prove that the allegations against Julian Assange are bull. That's it. They're nothing but bull-esque. And
political.
Absolutely. So if it is a political trial, it should have been thrown out even before it started, because if the basis for an extradition request, as I understand it, is a political intention to silence a journalist, a publisher, then that's prohibited and it could not go ahead. So that's why we're here every Friday, and we're very grateful to those wonderful witnesses who are speaking out for Assange, who have held their ground, who have responded to a very aggressive attitude from the prosecuting counsels in the trial. And we are watching it through other witnesses, through some journalists who have been permitted to attend, either in person or via video link. And we follow it closely and we learn every day. We just wish some of the Australian media did the same. But no, what they've done, the few mainstream media that has decided to publish anything about the trial, the only thing they've done is simply repeat what the prosecution has said. They've only repeated what the prosecution says. They have not analyzed what's going on. The prosecution has brought up charges for espionage. Now that they are saying that it's not espionage, that it's not journalistic practices that they're penalizing, but rather the publication of names of possible victims as a result of, the publications that Julian did through WikiLeaks. They've been proven wrong. Generals have said that in trials in the US, in the Manning trial, the witnesses for the defense now have said that there has been not one person who has been disappeared or died as a result of the WikiLeaks very carefully redacted disclosures. And I repeat, they have been very carefully redacted by Assange, and it's also been proven in the trial that the first publication of this information, of all of these cables, etc., went through another entity and not WikiLeaks. And so why they have chosen to prosecute Julian Assange, it's because they saw him as a weak link. They couldn't go after the New York Times, they couldn't go after Washington Post or the German press. They decided to go after an individual, and an individual who is special, who is intelligent, but who could be smeared, and who they could build a number of cases around him without feeling that they would be thrown out of court. Because journalists are afraid. They're actually afraid of speaking out, and they just told the line. And it's disgraceful. They've been trained to tell the truth, to investigate, to keep us informed as the public, as citizens. And they actually fail in that duty. So I encourage more journalists to go back to the roots and to do what's right. It is their job to keep us informed, fully informed, not simply to repeat what a powerful government says. That's it. That's why we're here.
There is a massacre going on in Yemen. The United States has made huge money out of selling jet fighters to Saudi Arabia, which is bombing the hell out of Yemen. And right now, in exchange for UAE agreeing to betray the Palestinians, the Americans are selling a great number of fighter jets, F-35s, to the UAE so they can bomb the hell out of Yemen. Julian Assange was exposing many of the antics surrounding this kind of thing. And Australia has benefited greatly from this arms trade too, selling arms to Saudi Arabia so they can wage war on their neighbours, no doubt Yemen with Australian armaments. This is partly why the government of Australia, in my opinion, is giving Assange absolutely, pathetically little help. None at all, as far as I can see. Free Julian Assange! 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 Inmate! Julian Assange! Inmate! Julian Assange! Inmate! Julian Assange! Inmate! Julian Assange!
No extradition!